Hi guys, and welcome back to the show. Nick Scutton here from Gimme Market Reviews, and today we've got another couple of reviews for you. We're looking at two other options in the game improvement iron market. Here I've got the Cobra Adapt, and I've also got the Mizuno 925 JPX Hot Metal. I'm going to give these two a hit. Recently did a review on some of the other options in the market from Titleist, Callaway, Ping. How do these guys stack up? Gonna give them a hit, gonna tell you my personal opinion on it and show you some data. Stick around. All right, so another exciting review for you guys today. So I've got two irons to hit here, both 7 irons, Cobra and the Mizuno. Recently did a review where I hit 4 products from the Titleist, Callaway, Ping, and TaylorMade. And I just wanted to add 2 more irons into that category here, which I would class as the game improvement iron. So we're looking at maximum forgiveness, generally stronger in loft, hot off the face, and they're trying to optimize forgiveness for the golfer, but also give you additional distance at the same time. Hope you found that previous review, which I'll tag below, really interesting. On the day, I thought the Ping, the G440 reviewed really well, but they were all very strong, all 4 iron options there. But wanted to hit 2 that I didn't get a chance to hit on that day. The Cobra Adapt right here, and also the Mizuno JPX Hot Metal. 2 really good options here. Gonna see how they stack up. Gonna start by hitting the Cobra first, get some data with it, talk about some of the technology within this particular head, then I'll move on to the Mizuno afterwards. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Cobra Adapt here, and like previous Cobra models, this looks and is very strong in loft. So on this particular 7 iron here, I've got 27 degrees of loft, which the set that I personally play, that's actually even a little bit stronger than where my 6 iron sits, which is typically at 28. So definitely cranked in terms of loft here. And a bit like the other heads that I reviewed in this part of the market, we're going for a hollow head design here. And then they've got some technology in here. So you've got the PWR bridge, and then they've got a 360 technology here, HOT face. Basically means they've gone thinner with the face across the whole duration of the face as well. They're saying they get about 23% more deflection or ball speed off of this particular face here. And then they've also distributed some tungsten weighting around the outside of the head as well to make it more stable on those heel and those toe strikes. So very similar technology to what we're hearing from TaylorMade, Titleist, the other top brands, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this one stacks up today. As mentioned, very strong in loft. This is actually around a degree stronger than some of the other heads that I tested previously as well. And the other thing that strikes me straight away is it looks very upright as well, which actually for golfers in this part of the market who might struggle with a slice or losing the ball to the right-hand side, that might not be a bad thing, and it's going to help you get the ball started more online. But it is worth noting, if you're shorter in stature, or if you're somebody who's got a more around the body, shallower playing golf swing, the upright lie angle might not suit you. So bear that in mind when you do go and give this a hit and get fitted. Also worth noticing, and I've noted this with a couple of the different irons that I've hit recently in this part of the market, they've sneaked another little 1/4 of an inch on here. So I would say typically 7 iron, I'm looking for a length of about 37 inches. This is coming out at 37 1/4, so 1/4 of an inch longer. So again, the combination of the longer length, the more upright lie angle, for some golfers, this might really look like it sits quite toe up. I would say I'm sort of standard height in the UK now. I'm just a fraction under 6 foot. And for me, when I put that down, that looks like it does sit quite toe up. So definitely worth bearing that in mind. If you go and get custom fit for these, you may want to go shorter. If you're somebody who plays longer length already, you might actually find the standard length works for you as is. I've got one of their standard option KBS Dollar Tape Light in here. And yeah, I'm going to give it a hit. Let's see what the data suggests. So down by the golf ball. I wouldn't say masses of offset to it, but you can definitely see it's got quite a bit on there. Not as much as some of the other options I hit in the market. I would say probably the Ping had the most offset to my eye. Definitely a mid top line here, and you can see a little bit of the back of the blade as you look down on it as well. So you can tell that it's a forgiving head certainly. It is a darker finish, this one actually, which is quite interesting. Almost like, I wouldn't say quite a gunmetal, but like a nickel finish almost. And because of that, that does make it probably look a little bit smaller. Not a huge amount of reflection from the light above, but it's a pleasing head size. So let's see how it feels. Nice solid start there. Felt great off the face. That's first one in. Let's hit a few more. The 7-iron that I would typically use myself would be about 32 degrees. And it's not, it's a more of a forged construction, so it's a little bit softer than this. I'm usually looking for my carry distance to be 168 to 170, just nice, easy swing. You know, I can get a bit more of it if I want to, but you know, standard number for me, you know, 168 to 170 would be like a really standard 7-iron here. So this is effectively my 6-iron loft. So it's going to be interesting to see if I hit this at 6-iron distance. I mean, I know I saw a glimpse of the numbers pop up there and it looked long to start with. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the data suggests here in terms of the ball speeds as well. Felt good, felt good. Okay, so that was actually quite surprising. It felt fantastic actually. And I know like a lot of the other heads in this part of the market, effectively they've gone hollow head and then they've got a sort of foam material within the head, which, you know, I think with these brands, what they're trying to do there is control the acoustics, because what we know about hollow head designs is the acoustic will vibrate around the head and it will generally sound quite high pitched, almost driver-like, which is not really what we want from our irons. We want them to sound solid. Golfers of all categories are always after that lovely, crisp, solid iron sound that you get right out the middle of the sweet spot. You know, like what you get from a forged head, I would say. Golfers of all abilities, we still want that acoustic. We still want it to be pleasing. We still want the blade to look good in hand as well. I think Cobra done a really good job there. I hit 3 solid shots. They were going an awfully long way, so I averaged 180-yard carry there, which is pretty much where I'd expect my 6-iron to be. What I found really interesting was the launch was definitely up compared to where I would hit my typical 6-iron though. So again, for the golfer who's looking for additional distance, looking for additional height, you know, if you are a lower swing speed player and you're not hitting the distance you want to, that could be really appetizing for you. Like I mentioned, because the lie angle is slightly more upright on this, I did pull it a little bit left for me. But again, that'll be something within a fitting scenario that you could get adjusted. So, but it is worth bearing that in mind, you know. But yeah, it was really surprising that. Felt fantastic. I say surprising, I shouldn't say that. Cobra, fantastic brand, make really solid product, have done for several years now as well. I touched on that when I did a recent driver review. I think they're very much underestimated. And also did a recent iron review on there as well. And also thought that the model sort of above this reviewed really well as well. But yeah, really impressed with that. I have to say, if you're going to go and hit the other 4 products, you know, the T350, the QI10, the G440 and the Callaway Elite, I think you have to have that in the basket as well, and you have to give that a hit as well. Slightly different budget as well. I'll put the price up here below. That has to be considered as well in the modern day market, but good start for the Cobra. All right, and then now on to the JPX hot metal. So, I mean, Mizuno, great heritage in irons, always succeeded certainly in the forged part of the market. I've always had a huge amount of play on tour with their blades, etc. Massive brand in sort of the 80s with a lot of major champions playing them. This is slightly different. This is moving to a bit more technology in their irons, you know. So what we've got here, we're packed with technology. So they've gone a little bit different with their technology, and they've gone for this Cortex design face to shear, and they're saying it's 30% thinner. That'll be to try and increase ball speed, decrease spin as well. But along with that, they've also then dropped a little bit of weight a little bit deeper into the head. Again, a bit like what we saw with the other irons in this part of the market. Perimeter weighted, typically go into tungsten in the toe area and lower in the head. That gives it a bit more stability as a head as well. So multi-material as always. And they're also talking about something here, sound ribs. And that's trying to control that acoustic. So again, where Mizuno have always been fantastic as a brand is giving you clean looks, definitely, in terms of the visual, but then acoustically, they've always sounded fantastic when you've hit them. They've always said nothing feels like a Mizuno, but also nothing sounds like a Mizuno, I think, as well. And they've always succeeded in that part of the market. Visually, to me, looking at the back of it here, it's a little bit busy for my personal preference, but I'm not going to hold that against it. There's probably been better looking Mizuno irons over the years, I would say. Certainly because of this model here. It's got a relatively thick top line to it, moderate amounts of offset. I would say I've seen more offset in some of the irons in this part of the market. and you can just about see the back of the club here as you put it down into its playing position. They've gone for more this sort of brushed steel chrome finish as opposed to the darker look on the Cobra. So it looks premium, and you know, I'm expecting it to sound and feel premium. I'd say it's a taller face than the Cobra. If you remember in the ping review I did for the G440, they've gone a little bit shallower with the head this year. To me, that looks like a slightly deeper head from Mizuno. It looks very appetizing and easy to hit, but it's definitely not as shallow as the ping option that I hit or that Cobra option that I just hit as well. But let's give it a hit. Let's see how it performs data-wise. If it can keep up with the Cobra distance-wise, I'll be really impressed because that was mega quick. Worth noting, sorry, before I get into it, another stock option here. Got the KBS Tour Light shaft option and one of their very nice Lambkin 360, the ST hybrid grips on there as well, which is a nice stock option. It feels good. All right, so that was very nice and easy to hit, but it did show me different data to what I got with the Cobra head. So interestingly enough there, distance was down a little bit, 7 yards. I averaged 173 yards there with that particular 7-iron in the Mizuno. And that was because launch was up by a degree. So I was around 20 degrees worth of launch there. And the spin was also around 400 RPMs higher as well. So the peak height was actually around 5 feet high. 115 was the apex on that particular iron there. And the ball speed had dropped by about 4 miles an hour, so I averaged 121. So it was interesting because much higher flight, softer in spin, and that will suit a different golfer ultimately, but it wasn't as long as the Cobra, definitely. So if you're there for out and out distance, then certainly the Cobra wins that battle today if you're doing it head to head. The dispersion was so much better for me there. I was much straighter, much closer to that straight line. If you remember, I did pull a couple of the Cobras, which I think could have been down to a couple of different things, but could also be pilot error. But I think the lie angle being a little bit more upright definitely made me draw it a little bit more today. A little bit flatter in lie angle from the Mizuno. I just found it easier to get it back onto the ball and start down my target line. Also, some technology in there as well. You know, I didn't think I struck them all out the middle. A couple of them slightly low off the face, but it just held its line much better as well. So in terms of the dispersion war, the Mizuno certainly won that, and it was certainly overall a higher flight as well. Okay, so just to summarize, guys, and 2 iron heads here, I have to say you both have to be considered if you're in that game improvement part of the market and you're looking for some new irons, alongside the Titleist T350, the TaylorMade QI10, your Ping G440, and your Callaway Elite. If you're going to hit those 4 options, I think it's definitely worth getting a couple of these and hitting these as well. Ultimately, very nice irons, but they do suit slightly different golfers. I think if you're looking for out and out distance and you're somebody who hits the ball high already, then the Cobra Adapt is definitely going to be the one you should be trying. And if you're on the flip side and actually you're lower in terms of your ball flight, you need a little bit more height and you want something that's very, very forgiving overall, then I would say the JPX Hot Metal is going to be the one for you this year. I would say aimed at slightly different golfers, even though they're in the same part of the market. Different strengths, both great options. Go and give them a hit. Get fitted as well, because as I mentioned, they are slightly longer. They do have different line angles on them as well, and that will all play a factor in you guys hitting the ball to your target line. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. If you've enjoyed the review, again, as always, please give it a like. If you haven't already and you want to get notified whenever I drop my next video, please subscribe to the channel so you'll get our updates. Guys, do you play any of these irons already? Have you given them a hit? Have you tested them? I want to hear what your thoughts are as well. Please let me know in the comments below. And any other reviews you want me to do for you guys, let me know. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you very soon.